Hi, welcome to the first of our videos about our safari to Kenya in August of 2022. My wife and I flew out from JFK to Nairobi on Kenya Airways on their 787. Here's us waiting to check in on our flight at fabulous JFK Terminal 4. The waits really weren't too bad, considering, COVID's still going on. Security line moved fairly well. It took longer than you want, but nothing to really get upset about. Luckily, because we had a Chase Sapphire Preferred card, we were able to spend most of our time waiting after we got through security at the Priority Pass Lounge here at Kennedy. Food was fine, it was quiet, comfortable chairs. It's a good place to wait if you can get it either on your card or through whatever ticket you purchase. Our plane was leaving JFK at 1:45 p.m. on a Saturday, and we were going to land Sunday morning at about 10:30 a.m. Nairobi time. It was a full flight. We were in economy class, but the seats were comfortable enough to get some rest. It's a long flight, but we made it through in one piece. Our driver, George picked us up at the airport in Nairobi, and before we knew it, we were on the road to Lake Nakuru, our first stop. The drive took us past the very bottom end of the African Rift Valley. This is a great spot to see it. It's famous with a lot of tourists who come to Kenya. There's tons of little souvenir shops, and it's a good place to stop and get a drink, pick up some tchotchkes, and talk a little bit with some of the locals.
Yeah,
Debbie
New
and I
York.
really enjoyed this here.
Oh, New York City.
New York City.
Oh, good.
Queen.
And then after checking in at the hotel at Lake Nakuru, we went on our first game drive. Came into the park not knowing what to expect. Scenery was beautiful, ran right along the shore of the lake. We didn't have to go far into the park before we started to see the kind of animals that we came to Africa to take a look at. Now, you might recognize this as a warthog, folks. In Swahili, they call him Pumbaa, just like the movie. And this was our first wildebeest, though I think most of the locals, when they're speaking English, still call them gnu's. And that was another one that you don't see too much up in the Catskills. And then the rhinos. Absolutely beautiful, completely unconcerned with us, and just doing their own thing. And it was great just to see them walk along that lake, picking some soft vegetation to eat, completely unconcerned about any park goers. And you realize you're in Africa, and it was just so much fun. Now we saw some more fellas grazing along that same road. Again, very used to tourists, to game drives. It's a protected park, so they're not wary about us at all. Just going about their daily business, having a snack before it gets too dark. And here are some of our favorites for the whole trip, the baboons. Especially the babies running around playing. Anybody who's seen little ones at a playground can see that we're really not all that far apart. And just enjoying themselves while the older baboons keep an eye on them, but more or less let them play. There was a couple of moms there holding their babies. And you can see this guy climbing up for a ride and ha-ha to his two friends who are left behind. Just really fun to watch them interact with each other. Now this is a whole troop that lives together, and there's an alpha male in the troop. And George, our guide, told us that when you come into the park in the morning, a lot of times they think you're bringing a box lunch with you. So this guy will distract you while his partners in crime will sneak into your van and steal your box lunch. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too worried about going to Rikers Island. So. Again, just watching them do their thing is so amazing. And here are some impala, I think, grazing right along this road that runs parallel to the lake, and on the other side of the kind of small hills rising up out of there. And all they're really worried about is getting a meal. We're not bothering them. And when we turned a little bit away from the lake, we saw our first giraffe. And these guys were just so much fun to see up close and in the wild. Again, not bothered by us at all. This was their home. We were the guests, and that was fine. It's amazing to see how graceful these huge animals are and how they move. Just standing in the middle of the road. This is their home. We're just visitors, and that's fine. That's how it should be. Now, you can tell the different kinds of giraffes, they say, by their socks. I forget which ones these were, but their feet were mostly white. The Maasai giraffe have black coloring on the bottom of their feet, so that's the easiest way to tell them apart. And this guy's a real foodie. He's very discerning about which one of these bushes he's looking to snack on. And that was a nice close-up we got. There's a little family group coming across the road in front of us, stopping for a little snack. Two smaller ones and two that seem to be adults. Raw child, okay. And again, taking their time. This is their park. Just like it should be. It's hard to keep these two in the frame. They're so big and so close. And it's set for our first game drive in Kenya.